Congressional districts and gerrymandering in the United States. The United States Congress has two branches, the Senate and the House of Representatives. Each state has 2 senators, but the number of representatives varies based on the state's percentage of the total U.S. population as counted in the census every 10 years. Currently, there are 435 voting representatives in the House, parceled among the 50 states. Each representative represents a district, or geographical area, typically drawn by the state legislature and approved by the governor. But in 10 states, districting is delegated to a special commission with limited or no role for elected officials. When you hear districting, you may think gerrymandering. This term is the unfortunate legacy of Massachusetts Governor Elbridge Gerry and refers to drawing district lines in a way that will produce a predictable outcome on Election Day. In 1812, Mr. Gerry's party drew state Senate districts to favor their candidates. A district that resembled a salamander was made infamous by a cartoonist who drew a gerrymander. To ensure as many seats as possible are likely to be won by a particular party's candidates, district mapmakers often use one of 2 practices: packing or cracking. They work differently but have the same effect. A packed district includes as many of the opposing party's voters as possible. This limits the overall total districts the party wins. Cracking splits up clusters of opposition voters, dispersing them among several districts. This increases the likelihood they will be outnumbered in most or all districts. Many consider North Carolina, Michigan, Ohio, Texas, Maryland, Illinois to have the strangest district shapes. These maps have been produced by both Republican and Democratic-controlled legislatures. The Supreme Court has ruled that racial gerrymanders, when mapmakers draw district lines around or through communities to prevent racial minorities from electing their preferred candidates, are unconstitutional. However, the Supreme Court has not ruled that partisan gerrymanders are unconstitutional. In a 2019 ruling on congressional district maps in Maryland and North Carolina, the Supreme Court deferred the issue to Congress or the states. Although the Supreme Court made a distinction between racial and partisan gerrymandering, some argue that they are interconnected. In this view, even if the intent is partisan, the outcome may diminish the voting power of racial minorities, many of whom vote for Democrats. Supporters of independent redistricting commissions say it increases the credibility of the mapping process and makes elections fairer. Of course, there are other factors besides the shape of a map that can shape the representativeness of the House of Representatives. Still, a partisan districting process gives mapmakers the opportunity to choose their voters rather than be chosen by them. Gerrymandering is a controversial and intractable feature of the U.S. political landscape.